Good morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on the 10 most popular signature scents for women. So basically how I compiled this list was I put out a questionnaire on my Instagram, and I also scoured a couple of other websites and did a little bit more research to see what people's most popular signature scents were, and then I compiled a list and basically tallied them up and put the top 10 most frequent or most commonly spoken about at the top of the list. So these are 10 fragrances that you should avoid if you don't want to smell like everybody else. So of course, you guys, please take this with a grain of salt. This is just for fun. I actually really like and own a couple of the perfumes that are on today's list. I'm not actually going to show the physical bottles because I don't have all of them. So just for the sake of consistency, I'm just going to show you a photo of the perfume as well as the notes and say a few words about each of them. And like I say, please don't take this personally or negatively. This is not me saying you should avoid these perfumes or these perfumes are bad or anything like that. Like I said, I personally really love a lot of these perfumes, and I think that thanks to social media presence and to YouTubers and stuff like that, there's been a lot of perfumes that have been hyped up to the point that everybody felt like they needed to get it, and as a result, a lot of people are wearing the same perfumes. And that's not a bad thing. It's okay for us to all smell good, and it's okay to wear perfumes that other people are also wearing. So like I said, this is just for fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. And before we get started in our list, why don't you leave a comment down below and let me know what is your current signature scent, and it'll be really interesting for us to go back and look in the comments later and see how many other people are wearing your perfume. And with that out of the way, let's get started on our list. So we're going to start out with the least popular and work our way up to the most popular. So in the number 10 spot, we have Armani C from Giorgio Armani. So this perfume does not surprise me at all that it made this list. I think it's very, very popular. And if you look on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of channels recommending Armani C. It is a beautiful fragrance. I've told you guys before that I think that they have changed the formula, and other people have sort of felt the same way, because the current Armani C that is out on the shelves smells quite a lot different from the original one that came out. It's just not quite as full bodied. It doesn't have as much presence and personality. It's not quite as strong. It doesn't last as long. So I'm personally a little bit disappointed in this perfume. This is a cassis, patchouli, woody vanilla scent. It also has a little bit of rose and freesia. It's a very sexy, sensual, feminine, beautiful, mature fragrance. I really, really love this scent. The only thing I don't like about it is I wish that it did last longer and have a little bit more oomph. For that reason, I personally do prefer Armani C Intense. So I think if you love this scent, but you want something that's just a little bit different and is going to last a little bit longer and maybe smell not quite as similar as a lot of other people who might be wearing the original C, maybe check out the C Intense. In our number 9 spot, we have YSL Libre and Libre Intense. So these two both got quite a lot of hits, so I thought I would just lump them together in one. And this is not surprising either that this is a very common signature scent. It's actually, I think, a really great choice for a signature scent, even though it's very popular and a lot of people wear it, because it is still very unique and it's very distinguished. And that's the whole point of a signature scent, right? Is to have something that's unique and distinguished. And when you smell it, it's very recognizable and very memorable. And truly nothing else out there smells quite like YSL Libre. So this is a lavender, mandarin orange, vanilla orange blossom fragrance. It also has a little bit of woody notes, it has a little bit of musk, but the star players are definitely the vanilla and the lavender and that orange blossom. And those three together create this really mesmerizing, intense, intoxicating scent profile. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with these fragrances. I love them. I think they're incredible. They are truly some of the most unique, beautiful, almost like mind-blowingly good fragrances I've ever smelled, but for some reason they do make me feel a little bit ill. So personally, I do not own these fragrances, but I do keep going back and retrying them because I can see the appeal, I can understand why people love them, and they are incredible and they last forever. The performance is great, the projection is great, the compliments are crazy. It does smell very mature, sophisticated, and also very rich and luxurious. Everybody says it has a rich auntie vibes. So if that means anything to you, if you want to smell rich, if you want to smell successful, if you want to smell like you have a nice bag and a nice car, YSL Libre is a great way to go. The number 8 most common signature scent I think will not be surprising either, and this is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue and also Light Blue Intense. And again, I did lump these two together because they both got such a similar amount of votes. So these are beautiful fragrances as well. These are very woody, fresh, lemony fragrances for the summertime. They're quite likable, they're quite mass-pleasing. This is one of the most popular Dolce & Gabbana scents. It's one of the best sellers worldwide. It has been for quite a while. Personally, again, I do not own this one. I like it. I think that it smells really good, but there's something about it that I just cannot wear. I find it to smell a little bit screechy, a little bit like sort of window cleaner almost, and it does give me a bit of a headache. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know what it is, but it's not surprising to me at all that so many people love this. So you have notes of Sicilian lemon, apple, cedar, and bellflower. In the middle you have bamboo, jasmine, and white rose, and in the base you have cedar, musk, and amber. And yeah, an incredible scent, but like I said, for me personally, it's just a little too sharp and a little too biting and piercing sort of, so it just doesn't work for me. In our number 7 spot, we have Parfums de Marly DELINA. Now, I do want to say a little disclaimer quickly that if we had asked these same questions maybe 5 or 6 years ago, what people's signature scent was, this one I don't think would have come up on the list at all. And I also have to say that this poll might have been a little bit biased because a lot of the people who follow me on Instagram are perfume people. They like perfume, they're into perfume, so they have therefore heard of and purchased and tried DELINA. I think the general population still probably hasn't smelled DELINA. I just don't think it's that popular of a perfume, so I do have to put that disclaimer in there. A lot of the fragrances on this list I think are pretty popular among the general population, but this particular one might not be very accurately depicting the rest of the population just because, like I said, I think most people still have not smelled it if they are your typical person walking down the street. But I do think that thanks to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and other social media platforms, especially over the last few years, I think that has really given a lot of popularity and a lot of awareness to some of these more expensive and luxurious niche brands. And I think that's why so many people now wear DELINA. And I think especially if you are into perfume, I think you can safely put that onus on 1 or 2 like bigger reviewers who like have really pumped out, get this, get this, get this, try this. Not to downplay how beautiful or incredible DELINA is. I actually own DELINA. I really like DELINA. But yeah, I think that it wouldn't have as much popularity as it does if it wasn't for social media. So that's my little disclaimer. So this is a beautiful, fruity, rhubarb, rosy fragrance. Just a gorgeous, absolutely incredible fragrance. Really great choice for a signature scent, except that, like I say, these days, it is so saturated. There's so many people who now wear it. It's no longer unique and special. It is a unique and special fragrance, but it's no longer unique and special in terms of you would be the only person wearing it because, yeah, so many people have it now, which I think is kind of unfortunate. I think that's the downside of social media pumping up and hyping up fragrances, is then the mass population sees those videos, they think that they need it. Before you know it, everybody's walking down the street wearing a $400 niche perfume that smells like rhubarb and rose. Number 6 is another fragrance that I think falls under the same category as DELINA when it comes to the influence that social media has had on its popularity, and that is BACCARAT Rouge 540. So again, I actually think that this is pretty legit and pretty accurate in terms of the general population, especially in the larger centers. I think that a lot of people have discovered and have been turned on to BACCARAT Rouge 540, whether it was from their sales associate, their friends, social media, personal discovery, whatever. I do think that this is genuinely an extremely, extremely popular fragrance, so I don't think that is just representative of a smaller perfume-obsessed population quite to the degree that maybe DELINA is. And it's kind of unfortunate in a sense because it is a beautiful, stunning, unique fragrance that would still be very, very unique and very special if it wasn't for the fact that so many people wore it. So if you haven't smelled BACCARAT Rouge, it is a saffron, jasmine, amberwood, ambergris, fir resin, cedar fragrance. All that to say, it is basically a sweet, ambery fragrance that kind of smells a little bit like burnt sugar or spun sugar, something like that. It also has almost a medicinal, synthetic, kind of a Band-Aid dentist office type of smell to it. It's very like luminous and vibrant and airy. And some people think that it smells a little bit too much like a dentist office. Some people find it to smell very sweet and very sexy. It totally depends on the person. I actually really like BACCARAT Rouge 540. I actually used to have a bottle. It just wasn't a favorite enough for me to keep it. However, I will be honest with you guys, I kind of regret getting rid of it because I feel that if I just would have kept going back and revisiting it, it might have become something that grew on me. My problem with BACCARAT Rouge is that sometimes I wouldn't be able to smell it on myself. It is a really interesting fragrance. It lasts forever. It has really, really good performance. Everybody else can smell you. You will get compliments when you wear it. You smell very rich and luxurious and expensive. There truly is nothing else quite like BACCARAT Rouge. except for the fact that there are hundreds of clones and dupes now that are intending to smell like Baccarat Rouge, and there's also a couple of others that mimic it in some way, such as Ariana Grande Cloud, but Cloud doesn't last nearly as long and it doesn't smell quite as special, and it's just not the same. So all that to say, Baccarat Rouge is very popular, really a magnificent scent, but unfortunately it's to the point that it's no longer very special because so many people have it. But I really think it does depend on where you live. Like myself personally, if I was to go out anywhere in the community that I live, I am willing to bet large sums of money I would not smell this on anyone, because I do think that you have to be in larger centers, you have to have access to the really nice shopping places, or you have to be in the know and have been recommended this perfume. I still think that some of the smaller communities or people who are not as into perfume might not have access to or have heard of this one. Number 5 shouldn't surprise you, and that is Black Opium and or all of its flankers. So there was quite a few people who had the Nuit Blanche as their signature scent. There was a lot of people who had the Black Opium Neon, and there was a lot who just had the original Black Opium. Personally, you guys, I have to say I love Black Opium. I actually have a bottle of the Illicit Green coming because I do really, really like that scent. So I actually have, I think, 4 Black Opiums in my collection at the moment, but I truly love them. I really, really like them, and I can totally see why they're so popular. I think that Black Opium unfortunately has gotten a bit of a bad rap lately because it gets a lot of hate from, I guess, social media in general when people are saying, oh, it's so mass worn, it's so old, it's so cheap smelling, it smells like a club, it smells just like you're not even trying, it doesn't smell classy anymore. I really feel though that these things come and go in waves, and just because people are saying a perfume is no longer good or is not classy or is not whatever, I don't think that that really matters, because at the end of the day there's a reason why a perfume is so popular. There's a reason why so many people wear it and still wear it. The whole premise of Black Opium is that it is sweet, it is coffee, and it will have different variations, whether it has more or less flowers, more or less fruit, whether it's creamier, nuttier, milkier, but all of the Black Opiums basically premise around this sweet coffee fragrance, and it is deep, it is intoxicating, it is sweet, it is feminine, it is sexy. I really like it. You guys know me, I'm a Black Opium girl. 2 thumbs up from me for the Black Opium, and that is our number 5 most common signature scent. Our number 4 spot is another fragrance that came out just in the last few years, and it has become very, very popular. When I first smelled this one, I wasn't a huge fan. I thought that it was kind of generic smelling and sort of basic. I didn't really see the hype. However, it has become one of my personal favorite perfumes, and this is Valentino Donna Born in Roma. Now, I have to say, yes, it's sort of generic in the sense that it has all those basic parts that people love in a perfume. It's fruity, it's vanilla, it's girly, it's sweet, it's very feminine. Definitely falls along the same lines as something like Flower Bomb or Black Opium. It's just a mass-pleasing, sweet vanilla scent. But there's something about it that I absolutely love. It has blackcurrant, pink pepper, bergamot, jasmine, jasmine sambac, jasmine tea, vanilla bourbon, cashmere, and guaiac wood. So it is quite a woody scent, and just like the bottle and the branding would imply, it is a sweet and feminine girly fragrance, but with an edge. I think it has just enough of an edge to elevate it and make it a little bit more special and unique than a basic fruity vanilla fragrance. And I really, really like it, and I get compliments when I wear it. I love the bottle, I love the branding, I love everything about it. I can totally see why this is a popular signature scent. Again, it's kind of too bad when some of these really great scents become so popular that every other person you meet is wearing it. It then kind of loses its specialty, but in any case, it's a really nice scent. In our number 3 spot, we have a Chanel fragrance, and this is Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. And most people, I would say, said the Eau de Toilette. There were a few people who specified the Eau de Parfum, but in any case, Chanel Chance Eau Tendre, EDP, and EDT smell very, very similar. One is just a little bit more rosy and musky than the other, and the other one is fresher and lighter and a bit fruitier, but they are pretty similar. Chance Eau Tendre is a yellow fruit, fresh, fruity, grapefruity, powdery, musky fragrance that comes across smelling a little bit like shampoo. It has that perfect, everyday, clean girl vibe. Very fresh, very clean, very out of the shower. It's just extremely likable. There's something about it that everybody seems to like. It is that perfect signature scent. It is that perfect mass-pleasing gift idea, one that you cannot go wrong. If you ever wanted to buy someone a perfume and you didn't want to go wrong. Just grab them a bottle of this and you're 99% sure that it's going to be a win. I personally do have this perfume, and it took me a really long time to get on board with this fragrance, and I still really like it. I don't love the lasting power. I do wish that the lasting power of the Eau de Toilette was a little bit better. I do find that the Eau de Parfum does have better lasting power, but I prefer the freshness of the EDT, so that's why I have that one at the moment. It's also one that strangely comes across very, very sexy. It's not every day that you find a fresh out of the shower fragrance that also comes across very, very sexy. For some reason, this one does. Men seem to really like it on women. It is actually one of my boyfriend's personal favorites on me. I'm not sure why, but he likes it just as much as some of the more sensual perfumes that are supposed to be for like sexy date nights. He would prefer I just wear this one. So really interesting, and I do really like it, and I can see why it is such a popular fragrance. In the number 2 spot, we have another one from Chanel, which is not surprising, and this is COCO Mademoiselle. So you knew this was going to be on here somewhere, and you probably guessed it would be pretty high up on the list. I'm actually surprised it didn't make number 1. And this is a sweet, orangey, patchouli, tonka bean rose fragrance. So it's floral, it's soapy, it's clean, it's sophisticated, it's polished, it smells expensive. You can wear this to the office, you could wear it for a signature scent, obviously. You could even wear it for a date night. It just kind of covers all of your bases, and it makes you smell truly, truly classy and very elegant. Again, what kind of dulls its magic for me, or its sparkle for me, is the fact that, again, so many people wear it, so it's no longer super special. That's the only downside. Although I think people are getting sick of it. I think people are sort of moving away from it, trying to find something a little bit more unique. So I feel like probably at some point we will reach a point where not everybody is wearing it anymore, and at that point it'll be special again. I actually have this fragrance. I really, really like it. It is one of those no fail, can't go wrong, very similar to the Chanel Chanso Tendre. If you want to smell good and you just don't know what to wear, you can throw this on and you know you're going to smell great. And yeah, it is a personal favorite of mine. It is one that I think I will always have in my collection. I absolutely love it. It took a really long time for me to get on board with this one. When I first smelt it, I thought it was too soapy and too sharp, and I didn't care for it, and I'm really glad that I didn't declutter it or return it, because it is now one of my favorites, going on 2 years. So okay, and our number 1 spot goes to, and I wonder if you guys guessed it, Mon Guerlain from Guerlain. Now this, I think, is probably, again, pretty accurate of the general population. I don't know if this is specific to the perfume community. However, I'm willing to again say that its rise to popularity is definitely due to, I think, social media and YouTube, because there are definitely a couple of reviewers, myself included, who hype this up. I love this fragrance. I promote it all the time. It is always on my list of top 10 or 10 for life or must-have perfumes. I could not imagine not having it. It is a personal favorite of mine, but there's also been a couple of other channels. I will give some credit to Jeremy Fragrance as well. I'm sure that you guys have heard of Jeremy Fragrance, but he, I think, is pretty famous for touting this as his perfect wife perfume. And I think when women in the general public see a relatively good-looking man who's dressed well and appears to be very successful saying that this is his ideal wife perfume, of course, every woman is going to run out and buy that perfume because they want to smell like the ideal, perfect embodiment of a wife. So I know that personally, that was the reason that I first bought Mon Guerlain, was actually because I saw Jeremy Fragrance talk about it many, many years ago in a video when I myself was looking for a perfume. This was back before I had a channel. This was before I knew anything about perfumes. I just typed up best perfumes for women, and of course this one shot to the top of the list, and I believe it was because of Jeremy Fragrance. So yeah, so I will give him some credit. I honestly do think that Guerlain should really be thanking him for the sales of this perfume, because I think he has driven so many women to buy this fragrance. Enough about Jeremy Fragrance. So this is a lavender vanilla scent. It also is a little bit fresh. It has some bergamot. It has a little bit of a spice in there. There's a little bit of licorice and coumarin and benzoin. There is some patchouli just in the base to kind of give it some lasting power and some depth. But this is primarily a soft, powdery, feminine, very vanillic fragrance. And it is lovely. It is beautiful. It is pretty. It's mass-pleasing. It's easy to wear. There's a reason it's popular. And I think that a lot of its popularity is definitely due to YouTube and to social media again, but it's also one that I think is very mass-pleasing in the sense that anybody who smells it is probably going to love it. I think there's very few people who don't like Mon Guerlain. So you guys, that was it for today's top 10 most popular signature scents for women. Let me know down below your thoughts. Did any of these choices or picks surprise you? And if so, which ones? And which ones weren't on this list that you thought would make it onto this list? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.